Corporation, Dr. Erica Wheeler, WHO/PACO representative, Trinidad and Tobago, Lion Shibiki Casaban, District Governor 68, Guyana, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago, Lion Club Service Chairperson and Project Team Lead, Lion Eastern Sangha, Arima Santa Rosa Club members, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lion Khadija Truncheon, President of the Arima Santa Rosa Lions Club. I will also fill the role of your Master of Ceremony for this morning's proceedings. It is my simple task to introduce the various persons who will address you this morning to launch the 16 years of activism against gender-based violence. I will begin by inviting to the podium to lead us with the invocation, Lion Hazel Maitland Joseph, Second Vice President of the Arima Santa Rosa Lions Club. Thank you, Lion Hazel Maitland Joseph. At this time, I begin with the housekeeping announcement. May I have your attention, please, for just a moment to make a few quick housekeeping announcements. Welcome to the Arima Community Center. In the event of an emergency, stay calm, quiet, and exit the building in an orderly manner. There are 3 exits from the main hall, one to the east, one to the west, and one to the south. In an emergency evacuation, only exit through the west or south doors. Those seated from the middle to the front of the hall exit through the west door, then down the stairs or the ramp, then to the rear of the building into the parking area, and muster at the front east lawn. Those seated from the middle to the back of the hall exit through the south door, down the stairs and out the main entrance, and muster collaboration, remember to walk quickly but don't run. There are no planned drills during your stay. The restrooms are at the end of the balconies, ladies to the west and gents to the east. That's all the announcements we have. Again, welcome to the Arima Community Center. Please visit our website at www.arimacommunitycenter.com to book our venue online. Follow us at Arima Community Center on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. I would now like to take this opportunity to introduce our guests at the head table. We have Lion Eastern Samuel, Arima San Jose Lions Club, Student Chairperson and Project Team Lead, Lion Shiki Kazavan, Lions Club International District Governor, 68, the District Governor, Suriname, Trinidad, and Tobago. His Worship, Kabni Casimir, the Mayor of the Borough of Arima. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to bring the welcome and opening statement on the occasion of the launch of the 16 Days of Activism to the Elimination of Gender-Based Violence, which is a collaborative effort of the Arima San Jose Lions Club and the Arima Borough Corporation. This is a momentous event for us at the Arima San Jose Lions Club, as it marks a few firsts. This is the first time that our club has placed this global campaign as part of our annual youth plan. This is the first visit to this very impressive community center to have an official club activity. This is also the first in-person activity and function for this year with the Arima Borough Corporation. The Arima San Jose Lions Club has been in existence since 1992. In fact, this year we celebrate our 30th anniversary. Our club is one of the member branches of the Lions Club International, which comprises of 1.4+ million men and women operating in over 200 countries. Our global service unites around 5 areas of need: diabetes, vision, hunger, the environment, and childhood cancer. I became president in August 2022. My president's theme, Footprints in the Sand, Building Our Legacy. As we continue our legacy of service 30 years later, a priority action at the beginning of my tenure was to conduct a community needs assessment, which would ensure we develop programs and projects that reflect the needs of our clientele and the wider society. We want to show that as Lions we help, but help is needed. In August 2022, a meeting was held with our club membership to review traditional club service projects and activities and identify changing community needs. Thereafter, we took it a step further, and a meeting was held with His Worship Mayor Kabni Casimir to identify specific community needs from his standpoint and to initiate planning for projects and activities where collaboration is possible. 3 months later, and here we are, the Arima San Jose Lions Club, in collaboration with the Arima Borough Corporation, will now host the 16 Days of Activism Against Violence Against Women from November 25th, 2022 today, which is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to December 10th, 2022, International Human Rights Day. The 16 Days of Activism is an international campaign which symbolically links violence against women and human rights and to emphasize that such violence is a violation of human rights. This partnership arrangement is in line with our strategic focus, a community service priority action strategy, which reads, develop strategic partnerships that align with our expansion of service and execute at least 2 impactful service projects completed with another club or organization. We will host a series of activities during the 16-day period. During this period, there will be further collaboration with the Arima Municipal Police, Baka Empowering Families, the Northwest Regional Health Authority, and the Society for Inherited and and severe blood disorders. Our club aspires to intensify its service and increase the potential for locally effective strategic partnerships. We welcome the support of His Worship and his team. With every meeting at the Mayor's office, we have gotten an opportunity to widen our support network and host additional meetings. With Superintendent Erica Preto, Municipal Inspector Maxwell, Public Health Chairman and Councillor Anthony Davis, and Backward Current Families founder Mrs. Brittany Lazo, I would add is here all the way from San Fernando. My emphasis on collaboration and partnership is deliberate as it speaks to this year's theme. This year, the UN marks 16 days under the theme Unite, Activism to End Violence Against Women and Girls. We are uniting today to share, connect, raise awareness, and most importantly, sow a seed. I specifically encourage you to participate fully, amplify the voices of survivors and activists, support organizations involved in advocacy work, and service to abused women, girls, and children. We look forward to your support not just today, but throughout the period and after, as we continue to cast our footprints in the sand and build our legacy within the community of Arima and environments. To all present, welcome to the launch of the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. Thank you. I would now like to invite to the podium to give a further opening statement His Worship Kathleen Casimir, Mayor of Arima.
Let me acknowledge from Pablo, who represented Dr. Erica Vila. Let me also acknowledge members of the Lions Club, more specifically, of course, our special guest today, the District Governor, the 68 Suriname, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Lion Shabika Casabon. Welcome the District Governor to the Royal Charter Borough of Arima. And the District Governor, this is your first visit? Is this your first visit to the Royal Charter Borough? No? Well, it seems as though the District Governor is already honored Arimian. Let me also, of course, recognize Lion Hazel, Matalan Joseph, Lion Easton Samuel, the service chairperson for the Arima Santa Rosa Lions Club. Of course, acknowledge the other Lion members present, and of course, Councillor Anthony Davis, our Chairman of Public Health, Superintendent Erica Preto, from the Arima Municipal Police, the Society for Inheritance and Severe Blood Disorders, Mr. Kirion Blackman, the founder for Baka Empowerment Families, Mrs. Brittany Dazel, and of course, Lion Cyril Casimir. Can't forget Lion Cyril Casimir. Various invited guests, and of course the representative from Malakasita, who is always at the forefront of empowering women. It is my pleasure this morning to be here in total and full support for the elimination of gender-based violence. and in my own words, violence on women. We have seen on the media the atrocities that is being perpetrated against women. And if what we see on the media is an indication of what's happening in our society, it is of course atrocious and to be condemned. Violence in any form, especially gender-based violence, is destructive to our families and family life. It has no place in our society and must be eliminated. Today, the Arima Santa Rosa Alliance joins with millions of people worldwide, many of our NGOs locally, in speaking out against violence on women and gender-based violence. This is an activism over the next 16 days, but an activism that has to grow, that has to be like a virus in our society. That is the activism to the proportions of a pandemic. We need to fight this scourge in our society with all the support and all hands on deck. It is not only a fight for women, it's a fight for every one of us. When I look at our society today, we are supposed to be a society that is enlightened, informed and educated. The old adage of yesterday of men being those who will cut the pathway to the future is now supplemented by a future for all of us and a future built by all of us. My concern is also a concern for not only those that speak towards gender-based violence, but for the vulnerable in society. The vulnerable meaning those who are disadvantaged in a way in which resources and a way in which their place in society is viewed. And we speak of women, children, senior citizens, and those who sleep on our streets, and those who are homeless. If we are a society that cannot take care of those who are vulnerable, then we are a society that is not going to progress. We are going to be living in our own selfish castles, where we put on blinkers and where we say that we are okay and therefore everyone else is okay. That is not the case. For me and for this council, we have demonstrated time and time again that we are in support of the most vulnerable in our society, especially in the Royal Chartered Borough of Arima. We start here. Just as we start in our households, and we make our households one that is a place to which we nurture our family, and then we move into our neighborhoods, into our communities, into our municipalities, and then we could spread throughout our nation and the world. It is important that all our systems be geared towards helping those who are vulnerable. I had a discussion sometime this week, I think, with one of our NGOs. and in hearing what is happening in those places of safety where we are supposed to get redress and we are not getting the quick and urgent help that we need, it speaks to a society or a community that is not really understanding the nature of what this violence is and what it means. So today, if we join with our other NGOs as we have today, we have the NGOs represented here, and I want to thank the NGOs for the collaboration. As a council, we can't do it all, and I know as a service, a police service to protect and serve, we can't do it all. We have seen it with the degree of criminality that exists in our country. If we have that kind of violence on each other, what do you think is happening in our homes? What do you think is happening to create what we have in our schools? These are indications in our country and in our society of things going wrong, and things going wrong at the home level. And we're not waking up. We're simply not waking up. We expect the police to go into homes and pull people out and manage them. We have a responsibility, each and every one of us in our homes, to speak up against violence. And let me tell you, sometimes violence is not the physical part or the mental part. Violence is a disrespect, you know. That's where it starts. It starts with us disrespecting each other. It's as simple as that. And if we respect each other, we are going to eliminate, maybe slowly, but definitely, violence in our households. And the definition for violence, as I say, is not the physical and the mental only. There are things that we would like to see in our homes, and the way in which we like to be treated in our homes, and it calls for a lot of communication, a lot of dialogue, sometimes obedience and sacrifice. Obedience where we do not understand the other person's perspective, but we have to address down for the moment, where we have to sacrifice some of our own values sometimes, and sacrifice meaning doesn't mean taking it and putting it aside, but it means trying to see the other point of view before we demonstrate what our values mean. I would like to see us respect each other much more. I would like to see us do the right things. I have said in this council that we will do what is right, even to our own demise it may be. Because if we feel something is right and we are strong about it, people may not like us for it. I have a colleague who has suffered silently because of violence. Violence intimidates. Violence is holding back our economy and holding back the upliftment of our people who want to have good livelihoods. Violence is impacting us in our schools. Violence is impacting us on our streets. It's impacting our homeless. And sometimes it's taken as for granted. We need to persuade each other when we see there are instances of disrespect and abuse and violence. Those of us who, when we see it, take out our phones, put on light and film and post on Facebook, we're not doing ourselves any good. We're supposed to stand up, not to put yourself in harm, and speak out against it. So I'm hoping that the collaboration we have today, and I say it again, council, municipality, police, that is one collaboration. Widening the collaboration into NGOs, into forums. By the way, are there any forums in ARIMA where people could go and speak to their issues as a group and discuss how they could mitigate their own actions? Do we have that in ARIMA? I don't know about it. Do we have any Alcoholic Anonymous in ARIMA? Do we have any drug forums that people could come as a little group and they could speak about their problems and try to get help? I was asking that question a couple of days ago, and I don't know if any groups that do it. Are there any groups here that perform that or give that service or have those forums in action? For women, for abused women, like Asita? But we need more of those. We need NGOs to create those forums where people could stand up and speak up. Because if it remains hidden, how are we going to address it? Why are we keeping it under the table? And why are people afraid to speak out when they're in situations like that? And why it is that the perpetrators, male or female, feel that they have a right to own their partners or their family members. Who is talking up against this? Which NGO goes out and speaks up? Are we going to sit in our little corners here and just talk as we're talking? I don't believe that. I really, really don't believe that. Because I am not seeing, and this is one of the reasons why when I have to applaud the ARIMA Santa Rosa Alliance group, because when they came and they said they wanted to do this, I told them it has to be done in the public, it has to be done in the open, and people must know about it. And when we're doing something about it, people must understand where it's being done and who is doing it. Why? Because when you see it on the papers, people ask, well, who is doing something about it? If government is stymied in doing it, then we the people have to do it. Anyway, I'm taking too long with these opening remarks. So let me end by saying that I'm fully in support of any activism. I shouldn't say any activism, but for activism that eliminates gender-based violence. When I say any, people might say you're going to take up violence for violence. The answer is no. But defend yourself. That's what we're doing today. We are defending ourselves. We are saying no to gender-based violence, and we are saying it in a way in which we are showing strength and unity. All the different groups, including our services, we are here to do that, and I'm happy we're doing this in ARIMA here today. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this forum, to be part of this launch, and I look forward not only to 16 days of activism, I look forward to years of activism until we eliminate gender-based violence. So as I close, let me again welcome the District Governor and all who are here to this launch, and of course, wish you a gender-based elimination of violence for Christmas. So have a Merry Christmas, a peaceful Christmas, a non-violent Christmas, and a bright and prosperous New Year. And I'm telling you, our country is going to succeed. We're going to put our country on the path to peace and progress and to unity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Worship. At this time, we divert from the agenda bit and we go straight into remarks. I'd like to welcome to the podium Dr. Erica Wheeler, WHO/PAHO representative.
His Worship, Kadni Casimir, Mayor of Arima, Herman Noel, I'm not sure who is here, Deputy Mayor of Arima, Anthony Davis, Councillor, other members of the Arima Borough Corporation, Lion Shabiki Kazabon, District Governor, 60A, Guyana, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. Lion Khadija Tronshin, Lions Club President. Lion Eastland Samuel, Lions Club Service Chairperson and Project Team Lead. Superintendent Erica Preto. Arima Santa Rosa Club members, specially invited guests, any members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, and thank you so much for inviting PAHO WHO to be a part of this important launch of your work on gender-based violence this morning. I would like to welcome you not just in my name, but also on behalf of our director in Washington, Dr. Carissa Etienne, as well as our Director General in Geneva, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus. From today, 25th of November to 10th of December, PAHO joins governments, civil society, the UN system, and other partners in marking the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. As you know, and was mentioned, this is an international campaign that takes place